Officer, I can't breathe. Stop resisting, you monkey.
What would you do if you survived war, bullets, and bombs, only to feel a knee crushing your neck on a quiet street in your own country, while the people sworn to protect you ignored your cries, and the only ones who stepped in wore the same uniform you once wore? Before we continue, welcome to Silent Echo Stories. If these stories move you, teach you, or make you see the world differently, please support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and commenting your location. We'd love to see how far these stories travel. His name was Daniel Carter. He was 38 years old, a black man, a father of one, a former U.S. Army sergeant who had done 2 tours overseas. He had seen dust storms, gunfire, and the inside of burning buildings. He had carried wounded friends to safety and stood guard in places most people only saw on the news. When he came home, he didn't ask for praise. He worked a quiet job at a warehouse. He paid his bills. He coached his son's little league team on weekends. He still stood straight when he heard the national anthem, even though his left knee never fully healed from an old blast injury. He kept his military ID in his wallet, worn at the edges, not because he liked showing it off, but because it reminded him who he was when the world tried to make him feel small. He believed in respect. He believed that if you stayed calm and followed orders, things would be okay. That belief would be tested on a calm evening under streetlights on a road he had driven 100 times before. Officer Mark Harlan had been on the force for 11 years. He was known for being hard. He was known for not taking nonsense. He believed most people he stopped were lying. To him, traffic stops were about control, about who spoke and who stayed quiet, about who stood and who kneeled. He had pulled over many drivers that week. But when he saw Daniel's car, something in his posture changed. His hand rested on his gun before he even reached the window. He saw a black man in an older sedan. He did not see a veteran. He did not see a father. He did not see a man who had served the same flag that flew above the police station. He saw a problem before one existed. It was early evening. The sky was turning orange. Daniel had just left the grocery store and was heading home. A police car's lights flashed behind him. He pulled over right away. He turned on his hazard lights. He put the car in park. He placed both hands on the wheel, just like he had been taught. Officer Harlan walked up, slow and stiff. "License and registration," he said. Daniel handed them over. "Is there an issue, sir?" "Broken tail light," the officer said. His tone was cold. Daniel nodded. "I didn't realize. I'll fix it." The officer stared at him longer than needed. Then he said, "Step out of the vehicle." Daniel felt that old tight feeling in his chest, the one that came before danger overseas. Still, he stayed calm. "May I ask why, sir?" The officer's voice rose. "Out. Now." Daniel stepped out slowly and told him, "I'm a veteran. My ID is in my wallet." The words didn't soften anything. Another squad car arrived. Another officer joined in. Their voices overlapped. Orders came fast. "Hands behind your back. Get on the ground. Face down." Daniel lowered himself, careful with his bad knee. That was when the shove came. His face hit the pavement. Cold concrete pressed against his cheek. A heavy knee dropped onto his neck. "I can't breathe," Daniel said, his voice thin. "I'm a veteran." The knee pressed harder. Phones came out. People shouted. A woman screamed for the officer to stop. Across the street, a black SUV with military plates rolled to a stop. Inside were active duty soldiers from a nearby base. They had just finished training and were heading back when they saw the scene. They recognized the posture. They recognized the restraint. They recognized the danger. They stepped out in uniform and walked toward the officers. "Remove your knee," one of them said, clear and loud. "Now." Officer Harlan told them to back away. The soldier held up his ID. "That man served. You are using force that can kill him." More soldiers arrived. The crowd grew quiet. Cameras zoomed in. For the first time, the balance shifted. The knee finally lifted. Daniel gasped for air, like a man pulled from deep water. An ambulance arrived. He was taken away on a stretcher, his neck in a brace, his eyes open but distant. The video went online that night. By morning, it was everywhere. An investigation began. The officer was placed on leave. The department faced questions. The town held protests. Months later, disciplinary hearings followed. Policies were reviewed. Careers were shaken. What started as a broken taillight stop became a case study in use of force, bias, and the thin line between control and cruelty. Daniel survived. His neck healed slowly. The fear took longer. He still stood for the flag. He still taught his son to respect the law. But he also taught him something else, that courage is not only found in war zones. Sometimes it is found on a sidewalk, under a knee, with a voice that refuses to go silent. Stories like this remind us that respect must go both ways, and that silence helps no one. If this story made you think, support the channel, share it, and let us know where you're watching from. Your voice matters, and together, these echoes can travel far.